Hello, everybody. I'm Jason Camus, Executive Director with Sertoma, and I am here today with Tim Romero from the Port Arthur Sertoma Club, one of our candidates for National Vice President. How are you doing today, Tim?
I am doing great. Doing great. One of our big fundraisers starts today. We're all getting involved in it. It's going to go all week, and that's why you got the apron on, getting ready to get dirty.
I was going to say the apron, that's a nice little touch there. Well, we're here today to give all Sertomans across the country an opportunity just to get to know you a little bit better as you run as one of our national candidates. So I'm just going to go through, ask you a few questions. Feel free to expand on anything you like, and just tell everybody who you're about. So why don't you just get started? Tell us a little bit about yourself and you personally.
Well, of course, I'm in Port Arthur, from Port Arthur, Texas. It's also the home of Janis Joplin, Jimmy Johnson, among a bunch of people, just so you know. We're probably best known down here as a Weather Channel stop off during hurricane season, but it's a great place to live. And I'm a member of one of the top clubs, I think, in the country, the Port Arthur Sertoma Club. We started in 1937. In 1947, 49, I'm not sure the exact year, they actually had the national convention here in Port Arthur. And at that convention, the name Sertoma was officially adopted. So we have a little bit of a connection there to Sertoma. I'm married. I have two children, three grandchildren, own my own business, and officially became, I guess, an old person because I got a Medicare card, but I still feel young at heart is what I can tell you.
Excellent. Just a few things to keep you busy. So, well, that brings me to my next question. Why are you running for national vice president and why now?
Well, I really enjoyed my tenure on the board representing the Heart of America region. Uh, it gave me a great experience into learning what Sertoma really is all about and how it works. I've been in Sertoma since 1986, and I was a charter member of a club. But being on the board really allowed me to see the great stuff that we do. And so I feel I've been a leader all my life, whether it was in Sertoma. I served as president 2 years in my charter club, president of this club, district governor, FDR. I have a lot of leadership ability, and I just think I can bring something positive to the table for this great organization. I do not have an agenda. I'm not coming in saying this is what I want to do. I've always believed that a leader is somebody who kind of reads the room. Where does everybody else, where does this organization want to go? And the leader is the person that makes that happen, that creates an environment so that the members can work together and achieve their goals, their dreams. And so that's really why I want to be a vice president. Of course, it moves up to president in 2 years.
Yep.
And because of that, my thing is that I really would like to see Sertoma in a better way when I leave office, better toward stability, toward the goals of the membership, and hopefully that I've been a positive part of creating that.
Excellent. Well, you kind of answered a little bit of the next question, but is there anything else you want to add about your Sertoma experience and maybe your history with Sertoma that you feel is relevant for everybody out there?
Well, I've always been involved in any club I've been in. I have never just sat on the sidelines. Whether it was Sertoma, the Boy Scouts, Knights of Columbus, I always worked within and assumed leadership. In the Boy Scouts, I've worked very closely with young men, trying to get them to become a productive adults. I taught them what leadership is all about, because I think that's what puts a youth on the road to being a productive adult. And for that, I was honored to receive the Silver Beaver Award, which is the highest honor they give a volunteer scouter in the council. Um, and so my whole Sertoma life has been about what's making our club better, our region better, our district better, and now I want to do what I can to help make the whole organization better.
Awesome. So what do you love most about Sertoma? What does Sertoma mean to you?
The thing that I think I like most about Sertoma, unlike some other organizations, and this is not a knock on them, but a lot of other clubs are profession driven. And Sertoma is not necessarily profession driven. We really don't even talk a lot about what our individual members have done for a living, if they're retired or what they're doing now. And it's all about people who come together, who have the same kind of heart, that want to do something good for their communities. And I just like that idea in our organization, that we don't emphasize profession. We emphasize service to mankind.
Okay. So obviously, it's a big job, and there's got to be some things on your mind that you would like to see improved, whether it's a local level Sertoma experience or national. Tell us a little bit about that. What do you want to see? What do you want to improve in Sertoma?
Well, I think it's always a constant thing. Every year when we meet with our scouts and we talk to them, the number one thing is that what's their number one goal? They say, well, it's to communicate better. I do believe that what I would like to see is our clubs become more comfortable with our national organization. I think there still is some divides, and it's been a part. It's not uncalled for. I mean, things happened many years ago that kind of drove that, but it's getting better, and that's where I want to see that going better in the future. Improve the lines of communication so that clubs feel a part of a national organization. To know that if they were just by themselves, they could not do the same good works they do now.
Okay. So tell the Sertomans that are watching this a little bit more about maybe your non-Sertoma experiences, maybe in leadership realm, that type of thing, and how you bring that to Sertoma and kind of infuse that.
Well, the first thing I'd say is that the biggest inspiration for me in my whole life was my father, who always was involved in something on the outside. And it's like what I tell Boy Scouts, it was selfless sacrifice, selfless service. You're doing things for people who don't even know you're helping them. And it's not important that they know that you're helping them. You're doing it because you have a deep-seated desire to work for your fellow man. And that gives us the best self-esteem of anything we could ever do. So I've always been driven to work in the community, whether it was when after my son was born, I kind of stepped back from Sertoma for a little bit, focused on those things that were family oriented a little bit better. Knights of Columbus, served as a Grand Knight of a council. I went to become the chairman of the board of the school board for his school, and worked to bring in two major fundraisers for that school that really kind of helped it stay afloat. I've always believed in that. Did intramural basketball in the school. And then when my son got old enough to join the Boy Scouts, I became one of those dads who was a leader and wanted to help him do the very best that he could. But after he aged out, and he was an Eagle Scout, and he served 2 years as the lodge chief for the Order of the Arrow Lodge in our council, I stayed in because I felt helping young people understand service, selfless service, and what leadership means. And it doesn't mean, as I used to tell them, you're the boss and you tell people what to do. It means you're helping others get to where they want to go. And I think that's important for young people to understand. A lot of young people don't have a good example of selfless service, and it's their parents have always been involved in everything they were involved in, and that's what you know kind of drove their charity work. We know in Sertoma that what drives us is not necessarily helping any one person, but the person who doesn't know we're helping. And so I've been involved in that. In 2012, my wife got involved in Sertoma. I wanted her to be involved. I wanted her to do it before I got back involved because I wanted her to be somebody other than Tim Romero's husband. I wanted her to be her own self. And she was not. She was named Sertoman of the Year twice since then. Then I became her gym member and immediately became on the board, served as president, came off that, served as FDR for a year or two, served then as district governor for 3 years, and then ran and was elected the uh, Heart of America regional rep. And again, I guess I just really enjoyed my time working on the board. The friendships I've made there with people from other parts of the country are just great. It's why I encourage all members to go to their regional conventions. And when you get an opportunity, go to your national convention because you just get to meet people from all over the country. And that gives you a better insight into what this great organization does.
Excellent. So, is there anything else we missed today? Any questions I didn't ask that you want to share that let voters know?
Well, I just will work for our membership. I want to know what they want to do. I do believe in a one board voice. So, and I've always believed that. One of our members was a at-large director for many years, and that's what Alton Borrell taught me. He said, "Hey," he said, "when the board talks, we talk in one voice." And so I want to know what people want, but I want everybody to know that I'm never going to talk down the board or the organization when we take a vote. That's the way it is. We're going that direction as a whole. And I just would like very much to have the opportunity to serve all of our members again as a national vice president. I promise you that I will always put your interest ahead of any personal interest that I have, because that's the way I just believe it ought to be.
Awesome. Well, I just on behalf of Sertoma and all the members, I just want to say thank you for throwing your hat in the ring. It's important that we have capable and enthusiastic national leadership. I don't get a vote, and that's a good thing because I will work with any of the three candidates. I serve at your pleasure if you're elected, and you'll see the little ticker down there. Online voting begins April 3rd. Ballots will be out in the Sertoman magazine as soon as it hits mailboxes. I believe that's sometime next week, depending on the mail. And voting will wrap up at the April 24th, and then we'll have ballots counted the second weekend in May. So we're moving along here, and we'll have an announcement for everybody out there come the middle of May. And with the new elected individuals taking office July 1st. So,
well, and let me just say something to that, Jason. We are very fortunate to have three people running for this office that I think are qualified. And if any of us are elected, I think they'll do a great job. I think I'm the best, but that's just not trying to be political. No, but I think that is important that we have multiple people running because it gives an opportunity for different voices to be heard again. The other thing that I would say is that for the clubs out there, as you listen to this, I would appreciate an opportunity to speak to your club via Zoom meeting. Unfortunately, I'm got lots of stuff going on now. Our regional convention comes up next weekend after this, so I'll be there. But I would be love to talk to the clubs via Zoom and let them know a little bit more about me.
Excellent. Well, all the contact information will be included when we send out these videos this next week. And so everybody has the opportunity to reach out to any of the candidates. So again, thank you, Tim, for your time today. Best of luck, and we will talk to you sometime soon.
Hey, thank you, Jason, and thanks for the great job you're doing with Sertoma. I really uh, have stayed involved and watching, and I like what you're bringing to our organization as well. And I think we made a great choice, and thank you for your good service.
Thank you.